Okay, good morning. This class is provided by CECA and this is free of the cost class, guys. You do not have to pay anything to attend the session here. And we do run the IELTS class as well, which is 2 to 4, Monday to Friday. And there is a NATI CCL classes as well. So you can attend those classes as well. For the links of the Zoom for the classes, respective classes for Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu, Napalese, Nati, you can call on this number. Besides that, the services mentioned here, they are free. The migration counseling, education counseling, and the counseling for the Canada immigration. And we also offer the free eligibility check in that. And right now, office is also open. If you want to come and contact someone face to face, you can call on the number, can have your walk-in set, like you need to set a time, and you can just avail any service, right? And even if you're coming just like a simple direct walk-in, it's not like you're not getting treated, but if you want to have call first and this then decide, you can also go for that, right? So starting with the class, so we were doing the reading item types, and the blanks we did yesterday, reading and writing blanks, and reading, filling in the blanks. So reading, these two are done. So the remaining item types we will be doing now, and after that we will be moving to the next item type, right? So the reading section, it's 32 to 40 minutes. 15 to 20 are the independent questions you will be having here, item types you will be having here. This is a single time section. You are managing your time by yourself. There won't be anything like individual timer, just like the writing and the speaking given here. So it is like the 5 item types you will be doing here, named as reading and writing fill-ups, right? And multiple choice, multiple answer, reading, reorder paragraph, reading, filling in the blanks, and multiple choice, single answer question. So the 2 categories are done yesterday, which is the first one and the fourth one. So the remaining 3 we will be doing today. So going to the reorder paragraph first, that what we will be practicing now. So the slides I need to go through. Okay, reorder paragraph, right? So the several text boxes appear on the screen in a random order, and we have to put the text boxes in the correct order. So that means it will be, the screen will be having 2 text boxes, right? The large box containing small text boxes, and we have to arrange the jumbled ordered text boxes into the sentences, or you can say into the right order, on the right hand side box given, which will be the empty box, and on side there will be the options given, right? The skill assessed here is reading, so that's how you will be getting score here. And the text, it will be up to 150 words, right? So there are 2 ways to solve the question. So first you can click on the box and you can select it, and then you can just drag it and bring it to the right box, which is the empty, and you can just leave it there wherever you want to leave that box, the text box, right? Another way is you can click that option. There are arrows given, right, left, up and down. Click the arrow, so the selected box will be moved to as per the arrow directed. So if you're selecting it to move to the right box, right arrow, you are clicking on that, so the text box will be moved to the right box. And in between the boxes, if you want to move the options up and down, especially it will be given only in the right box, because that's the place where you are citing your answers. So if you want to move options up and down, you can also do that. So technically these are the 2 ways how you can answer the question, right? So first of all, for doing the reorder paragraphs, as generally told, you have to understand the main idea of each one, and you can do this by noting the keywords. Noting the keywords means read every sentence, see what idea, main thing that sentence is conveying, that is the keynote, right? Which you have to carry forward, and which you have to decide, okay, which could be the possible right order for the given boxes here, right? So this will help you to decide which sentence go at which place, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Normally you will be having 5 sentences. Sometimes sentences can be 4 as well, sometimes they can be 6 as well, but it will be max 6, minimum 4, but generally there'll be 5 sentences, right? So just like these highlighted words, you have to select every you have to select keywords from every sentence, right? And that will give you an idea what this text is trying to convey. what is the central idea, and what could be the possible right order of the events selected as the keynotes, right? So these are the arrows I'm talking about, like right and left arrows. I'm selecting this box, just like clicking it, it will be selected. I'm pressing the right arrow, this option will move here. And suppose I just want to move the third number option at the first position, I'll be clicking the third option, moving this upside arrow twice. I mean, clicking it twice, so that third option will go to the first place. So this is how these arrows work, right? And moving on, first of all, we have to find the independent sentence. That's very important to find the right sequence. If we got the first sentence right, it become really easy to find the links after that. So after we find the independent sentence which can stand alone, which doesn't need any reference to be written before, which is sufficiently enough and saying the full meaning in the sentence, that is the one sentence which we call independent, and it individually make you get 1 mark, right? Then you have to look for the links. And links there are different ways, like time is the one way you can look through the links. Then the pronouns are the another way you can look through the nouns, right? Pronouns like he, she, this, that, those. So they indicate to some specific. And then the come the grammar. Grammar is again grammatic, the link clue, like the articles given, or any form of the verb sentence combination given, that also tell you like where it is heading towards. So this is how we are looking into the independent sentence, and after that finding the link, providing 2 to 3 formulas or the strategies, and that's how we're reaching to the overall structure, right structure of the sentences. And the last thing, there is no negative marking here. So even if you're not sure about, just arrange the sentences using your best knowledge, right? Because if something gets right, any pair gets right, you will be getting number, even if it's not at the right position in the sentence, but that pair is right. Suppose that B and E, they need to be at the second and third position, but you have written B and E at the fourth and fifth position, but still you will be getting 1 mark for that right pair, right? So this is how you getting score here. So there is no negative marking, so we're not leaving the answer box blank, and we just using trial error, best knowledge, and making the best possible combination of the sentences we can make, right? So here, like this is very routine example we do. So second sentence is the one which is a complete sentence. It doesn't need anything to be said before it, so that we can infer the meaning of this second sentence. It can be easily understand. Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year in October 31, right? So this makes it the independent sentence. The grammar, how we are looking for the links. The grammar is the first thing. Like it will tell you the ideas, how they are interconnected. Like the article is the first thing you can use from the grammar to look for the links. Like the is often used the second time a subject is mentioned. So if I'm saying the best, if I'm saying Melbourne, right, in a sentence, and the next sentence is like the city is beautiful, or the weather is quite unpredictable, suppose, right? So the city, that means the this city, and the word, the article is referring to Melbourne again. So it is like second time when I want to mention the subject, I do not have to write that name of the subject. I can use the as well, and give a common noun to that place, or that whatever subject is, right? This is the one way. And the second is pronouns, right? So suppose I'm saying again Melbourne is a big city, then I'm saying it is having wonderful weather. So it is again referring to the Melbourne. So this is the way you can look for the links using the pronouns. So pronouns, you know that for the living, like if there is a name of a person, like male, female, so according to that you can look for he, she, something like that written, so that is referring to the same person. And if it's a object, right, like this, that, those, right? So if I'm saying computer, so I'll be saying this help the people or the mankind to fasten the process of a process in every field. So now this refer to the computer we are talking about, right? So this is how the pronouns tell you what could be the best possible combination of the or pair of the sentences given, right? Then there are signal words like also, additionally, And then there are contrastive word, which is again signal words, however, but. So additionally also is like when I'm saying something and I want to add more detail, so there come the also additionally sentence, right? I'm saying already something, I added a sentence with also as well, but there is a sentence with however. That mean after adding all the positive details, I'm giving something contradictory, or after adding all the negative consequences, I'm saying something positive out the situation. So this is how you can decide on the possible sequence by looking at the signal words, linking words, any grammar clues. So they'll help you to decide the right order. So for the time sequence, which is actually sometime a bit easy if the any question come with the time sequence. So we have to look with the clues for giving the sentences in different tenses like past, present, and future, right? So that will tell you what could be the possible future order of the sentences as per the events happening, right? So if it's like there are the two possible structure here, you can start in the past depending on what is discussed in the whole of these 4 or 5 sentences, right? You can start in the past and then move forward in time and end in the present, right? Or maybe you are starting in the present, jumping back to the past, coming forward in time, and ending in the present or future. So these are the two possible combination. So if you're getting any sentences with the time sequence given, time sequence means like the some sentences are in past, some in present, some in future. So how you gonna arrange them in the right order? So just work on these two sequences. Just try to fix the sentences as per these sequence and see if they're conveying the right meaning in the right order. First, if it's not, then work with the second one, and out of these two, one will be applicable to that. And another way, you can just simply see if there are any years mentioned, if there are any time zones mentioned like BC, DC, something like that, or centuries mentioned. So if there are year mentioned, so that means the past one, the latest one. So you have to make a order of that events happening year wise. So maybe 1954, and then they're talking about 1962, then there is 1970. So we know that there is a sequence which is given in the year wise. And the words like after that, finally, so they make you help out in finding the sequence more appropriately. But provided that you have to see sometimes like words like finally, they are conclusive one, finally. Or if you say something like hence, all right, and then as the result, right? So it doesn't mean that now these are going to come at the end always, right? Sometime some events, they are just stating some one or two sentences, and third sentence is going to be as a result of, right? So as a result of is a phrase which which can be at the end, but which can be at somewhere after the one or two sentences, at third position or fourth position as well. Why? Because maybe it's a conclude of, or it's a conclusive statement for whatever we have said in first sentence and second only. It's not the conclusive statement for the overall sentences, right? So you have to actually look for keynotes in the sentence, because they are the best thing which help you decide to the sequence. Then, yes, think about the possible structure in these three formats, starting with the subject, adding detail, explanation, and examples. Starting with the subject, adding details and action, more details about that, and a result of the action. Starting with the journal sentence, introducing a problem and adding a, or whatever sentence is having a solution for that. Maybe we are ending with that. So we have to use these all strategies when we are making the right sentences. And you know that the words like if a sentence is starting with however, if a sentence is starting with also, if a sentence is starting with it, right, or any pronoun, right? So that means that sentence cannot be the independent sentence. So with these all clue, because these are the one thing before these like if any sentence is starting with these words, so that means I need something to be said before, so that I can justify this sentence, like why it is there, right? So this will help you decide the independent sentence, and that sentence will give you 1 mark alone. After that, every right pair will give you 1 mark. So if you got five sentences, 5 text boxes, your total score for that question will be 5. If you're getting 6 sentences, total score will be 6. If you're getting 4 sentences, total score will be 4. Right? Now with the things we just discussed about it, let's do few question, just 1 or 2 question and moving to the next set. Just a second. So you have to type in your answer. For that, I'll be just sharing the Word document now. Okay, this got 4 sentences in it. So that means the total marking for this question is 4. All right, just a second. Okay, can you please turn off the mic? Kripa. All right, I'm sharing the screen again with the question on it. Okay, here you go. So just I'll just mark it as A, B, C, D. Don't write 1, 2, 3, 4. It is pretty difficult to understand. And then, okay, so here you go. We got 4 sentences here. So first, let's find the independent sentence here. How we can do that? Read all the sentences. Take out the keynotes from the sentences because those will tell you, the keywords will tell you what this sentence is about. And according to that knowledge, you can decide on which will be the first one. So just do this question and send your answer in the chat box, please. You don't have to select any settings in the chat box as it is already done. Your answers will be straight to me. send your answers in the chat box only, and just look around. What could be the first sentence out of 4? And then what sentence is directly adding up more knowledge to that one? Okay, Kripa, I received your answer. And you haven't made the pairs, but as per the sequence, your answer, like the first sentence is right, 1 mark, but the pair is not right. The second pair is not right. Third pair is right. So you will be getting 2 marks out of 4. And Kimberly, the first sentence is right. So as the second. So 2 pairs for the first pair, and then the second one, that's not right. Last is not right. So Kimberly, your score is also 2 out of 4. Vrinda, waiting for your answer. Kindly send that. So you guys got the first sentence right, and like one of you haven't selected the next sentence right. Another one of you haven't selected the third sentence right. So you know that like where the mistake is. So try to understand. Always when it is saying something like conclusive, it's not meaning that. That's what I'm telling you, that it is going to be the last one every time. You have to decide as per the content of the sentences. Verinder, are you sending your answer? We're waiting for that. Can you let us know? All right. So the answers here. The first sentence. All right. Got it. Thank you so much, Verinder. Yeah, morning. So you sending answer? All right. Fine. Got it. So the first sentence here is, the researchers ask volunteer to perform one of the two simple tasks, either pressing a button in response to the appearance of a certain letter on a screen, or simply tapping in time with one's breath, and compared people propensity to drift off. This is the first sentence where they are asking volunteers to perform one of the two simple tasks, right? And after that there will be the sentence number throughout the task. Because why? We are talking about the two simple tasks and explaining what type of task and what will happen throughout the task, which is into the C sentence. So after the last one, D, it will be C. Throughout the task, the researchers checked in periodically with the participants to ask if their minds were on task or wandering. So what will be happening? That's what they'll be asking throughout the task, in between the task, right? At the end, what will happen? So there is a process of what will happen. So there will be two tasks. They'll be asking this, and at the end, they measured each participant working memory capacity, right? scored by their ability to remember a series. Working memory capacity scored by their ability. This makes sense together, but yes, memory capacity will be the first sentence, and then the last will be scored by their ability to remember a series of letters given to them stressed with easy math question. So there will be D, C, then goes to the A, then comes to the B, because they're talking about like at the end, the process wise they'll be at the end working measuring the participant working memory capacity. So how they'll be doing that, scored by their ability to remember a series of letters given to them and blah 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 with easy math questions, right? So this is how the sequence will be for this question. Okay, now quickly do the second one and always remember the answers, guys. You never know. These are the repetitive question. These are the past question from the exam. So maybe you get them repeated in your exam as well. So here you go. The second one, it got the 5 sentences in it, A, B, C, D, and E. So just go through this question now and send your answers. Just read them all together and then see what are the keynotes here, and according to that decide what is the independent sentence. Okay, got these answers. And okay, so Kimberly, your answer, the first sentence you picked up, that's right, but the next one is not right. So it give you 1 mark from the first pair. The next pair you have made is right, but not at the, of course, right position, but still it's right. So 2 marks. The third pair is not right. So no mark for that. And the last pair, again, it's not right. So it is 2 marks for you out of 5. And Varinda, the first is not right. And okay, the second pair is not right either. Then the third pair, this is also not right. And the last one, no, that's not right. This is a bit tricky. The right answer, the first sentence is here, D. All right, in September. Let me tell you the sequence here first. I will be talking about it. After D, it's going to be the fifth one, right? That the E one. And after E, it's going to be A. Then A and C. Then C and B. So here goes the right sequence. So the first is in September 1590, right? The Armada de Mallorca of 5 ships and 25 sailors had set out from San Lucar to Barrameda under the command of Fernando de Magellan, right? That makes it the first sentence, which is explaining the situation, like what it is all about, that they went on a sailing this and this place under the command of this person in this year. So that makes it the first sentence, right? And then comes to the E, it was to. So they went on a sailing. It is referring to that sailing adventure, right? It's a pronoun, it's showing a link. It was to sail to the Spice Island of the Malayan archipelago, where they were to exchange an assortment of bells, mirrors, and scissors for cinnamon and cloves, right? So this is like they went on a sailing with 5 ships, and why they were sailing this island for this purpose. D, E. After E, it's going to be A. Explanation. It is a cargo. It's a cargo consisted of 38 sacks of. So they went for this adventure, not for adventure, for the business reason, and this is what they are exchanging. And how they are going, it was a cargo consisted of 38 sacks of species, and Magellan himself had been hacked to pieces on the beach of Mactan in the Philippines, right? So you see, they're talking about the species and 38 sack of species. There is a link in that. So DEA, which leads to C. In September 1522, Victoria, the sole survivor of the Armada, limped into the Spanish port San Clair. You see why this C cannot be the first sentence, because it's saying like who left from this adventure, like from this business trip, who left, and that's what is in the C sentence. So this cannot be the first sentence, right? This is the first sentence, which is stating like it was a sailing business trip, and these people were there, and this is the commander, this is the date, and these many of ships and these many of sailors were on the trip, right? Then they were sailing for this reason, and they were containing this much of cargoes. And when they reaching, suppose they are reaching in September 1522, so there was only sole survivor of the Armada, limped into the Spanish port San Lucar, manned by a skeleton crew of 15. Oh my god, so weak they could not walk, right? So that's what how they reached the harbor where they want to. So contrary to popular belief, it was the crew of the Victoria who were the first men to have sailed around the globe, right? So this is the right order, and here you can look in the chat box: DEEA, AC, and CB, right? So now it's linking to the events. You see beautifully, this is going to be the right order. Okay, let's do one more question and then moving to the MCQs. All right. This is not so difficult. You find it easy with the 5 sentences. This is about the company things and sort of. Just let me fix it here. Okay, here you see this question got five. Oh, sorry, got five sentences in here. Numbering as A, B, C, D now. So just go through these ones and give them the right order, and then we'll be moving to the next question. Okay, Kimberly, you answered. I received it. Okay, it says, mm, okay, this is all correct. This is all correct. The first pair is right, the second, third, and fourth. So four pairs are right. The independent sentence is right. So this makes the all five marks true for you, and it is 5 out of 5. So Vrinda, you sending answer or should I say it? So here, out of the 5 sentences you're looking at the screen, the first is C sentence, where they're talking about senior managers have a large role to play in this balancing act. Because when we'll be reading all the sentences, the first sentence they have to find, they must establish, they need to make sure if all goes well So D, B, and A, they cannot be the independent sentence here, as they're starting with the pronoun they. So we have to first explain who they refer to, right? So that's why this cannot be the independent sentence. So if we even confuse about, so let's say we're thinking that C, senior manager, and E, out of these two, one is the independent sentence. So we reading this, senior managers have a large role to play in this balancing act, and it says if all goes well, natural leaders will emerge to move the organization forward. So you see, if all goes well, that means maybe first we are talking about the many things which need to be there for a balancing act, for the things to be arranged in a good manner, right? Then only we can say that the organization can move forward, will move forward. So it is a sort of future tense as well. It is having will in that, and you can understand better when it's a future tense. So sort of we have to see, that mean maybe it's going at the end, because other sentence they are not in the future way, they are in the present scenario. Let's see them. So C is the first, senior managers have a role to play in this balancing act. After C, it's D, they need to make sure the workers they hire have the skills necessary to drive the company forward. So C and D, that they need to make sure the worker they hire, right? So then after D, it's going to be B. They must establish a meaningful corporate culture that encourages a sense of entrepreneurship, right? C, D, B, and then A. They have to find way of encouraging mass experiments while limiting possible threats to the company existence. And after A, it's going to be if all goes well. So this is the right sequence here. C, then D, then B, then A, and then E. So these are the three questions we did. You can count on your score. You can judge where you stand out of these five questions. So 5 here, and 4 in the first. So altogether, the potential of this question type right now today is 14 marks, right? So out of 14, you can see how much marks you have received. So this is like daily basis. You can judge your performance. You can see where you are standing right now. Okay, let's go let's move to the next item type. So the next item type we'll be doing is MCQ, multiple and single answer both. So talking about the MCQ multiple answer, remember that you got the negative marking in these one. These are the questions you will be having negative marking. The first question till the moment you are doing the reading, sorry, the part one, which is speaking, writing, and when you coming to the reading, this is the first question which will be having the negative marking, right? So here, after reading a text, you have to answer a multiple choice question on the content or tone of the text by selecting more than one response. So first of all, here we are selecting more than one response. It will add your scores to the reading, and the text will be up to 300 word as well. So here you will be having 2 to 3 questions, right? There is a negative marking in here. So negative marking is like when you are having negative marks for every wrong question you are doing, right? So the time to answer is, there is no limit for an individual question. Be mindful of the overall reading section time limit, right? So there is nothing like, there is no specific time limit for the question. So here for the multiple choice question, you will be given around it's not like you will be given, you must be spending around 2 minutes on one question. So suppose there are two questions, so altogether you are spending 4 minutes on MCQ multiple choice. You getting three question, you spending 6 minutes, but it doesn't mean that ultimately you are spending that much of time. If you can reduce that time, you can speed up the process of finding the answers, you should be doing that, right? You should be saving the time. So moving on. So for the MCQ, the strategies, the first thing to do in the question of MCQ, you have to read the question prompt and the option. This will help you understand what is expected of you. If you understand that, you will know how to read the passage, whether you should look for specific information or try to understand the overall theme of the passage. So these are the two things you will be knowing by understanding the question and the options, like what you looking for, like the what specific information, and you also able to try to understand the overall theme. Next, you should go through the passage with the option in mind, right? When you come across any information related to an option, stop there and validate the option against the information in mind. So that means when I'm going through the option, I get any keyword from the option in the passage, I'll be stopping there. I'll be reading it properly, just like scanning it, comparing that information given in the options of the MCQ, and just relating it. If it's same, I'll be keeping that option. If it's opposite, not same, it's not about the same content, then that means I'm eliminating that option. I'm not marking as it my answer. We don't have to match words here, for sure, because the answers you will be getting in the passage, they will be paraphrased, they will be written in a, with the words like synonyms, right, with the words like different, the word order of the sentence, so they won't be same like as in the option, as in the reading, but their meaning will be same, right? So we are just shortlisting the option by doing this, and they are not final yet. Why? Because after we have marked the option, suppose out of 5 I have select 2, so I'll be reconfirming them, I'll be validating them by reading them again, and comparing them like if they same or not, right? So this is like, this is the process, same thing. I'm just doing that because we have to do that, because there is a negative marking. If I feel like 2 option I have selected, out of that 1 option I'm not pretty sure about if it's going to be same, then simply don't mark that option, because what happened, any wrong option will reduce your score and even make your score goes to the negative. So it's better to be just sure about the option first, and then marking that option for getting that positive mark, right? And this is how your screen will be. Yeah, here it says, remember that more than one option is correct in this type when it says multiple choice. And in the instruction, you will be having the sentence, you will need to select more than one response, right? So this will tell you, that means this is MCQ multiple choice. So here are the option and how you are just reading them. First, when you're reading the option, as I just told you, you'll be taking out the words from the options. When you're reading the passage, you're looking for those words in the passage. Wherever you're getting that, you'll be reading that, particularly you will be understanding them, you will be comparing them with the option given, and keeping it or maybe eliminating it. So this is the way you will be doing through these questions, right? And MCQ single answer, they're bit different from these one, and bit easy as well, because there we are selecting only one option. So it is not like we are selecting the multiple options, which make the things difficult for us. Here we are selecting only one response. Same, the reading skills will be assessed here, and the text will be up to 300 words, right? So here you see one question with the 5 options, right? So basically we have to understand the question prompt, right? So we have to see and understand and take the keywords from the question in this case, because without the keywords from the question, we're not able to understand what we are looking for here. And when we understand this thing, we can easily come here in the passage and see which words are same, just like in the question. Maybe it's, you get them in the last paragraph, in the second last, in the first paragraph only. Wherever you get these words not same, again you will be having synonym of that, having same meaning but different words, right? Just read what they have said for that specific term or specific say thing asked, and out of 10 given option, you can select the one option easily. So validate the option and then only click it. But here there is no negative marking, so always mark answer what you feel is the right one, and majority of the time you will be getting the right answer for the MCQs, right? Single answer. So always read and understand the question first. Try to develop a reading habit where you can learn new words every day, because sometimes we understand the things, but there is one word which making no sense to us. That means we are not aware of the meaning. So that makes no sense to us, and it's like we're not able to understand what is the whole meaning of the sentence, right? So this is bit difficult. So if we are doing so many questions, we are practicing daily basis, then ultimately we are coming across new words, new vocabulary, we are polishing our vocabulary, and we are improving the lexical resources that will help in the writing as well. And definitely here in the reading and the listening, every module they will help you out, right? The texts are generally from the subjects of humanities, natural sciences, or social science. So if you are a student of any of these subject mentioned, or if you are a reader of such content, so it will be bit easy for you to understand the passages here. So just a second. Okay, sorry about that. So you are in a better place if you are a content reader of these subject mentioned here. You must look for keywords in the question and the text as well as the option. So you must, that mean keywords in the question, you getting that, and when you're looking at the option, so just try to relate the option given for in the passage. Like if you read something like tropical condition, so just let try to find tropical condition in the passage as well, because also that will tell you if that is the one thing which is asked in the question, or that is the different content, right? So this will help you. So both way it is easy, but if you're going question wise, it will save your time, because question keynotes will take you straight to the answer, because somewhere where they are talking about the question, there they're just giving the answer as well. So pay attention to any nouns, dates, adjective, activities, or any repeated activity mentioned, right? Do not skip the question under any circumstances. So you're not skipping any question, because here there is no negative marking, as I'm telling you. The time you will be devoting to this question, as you are selecting only one option, so you will be selecting 1.5 to 2 minutes here, right? So when you're doing the multiple choice, maybe you doing 2 to 2.5 minutes you are giving on one question, because you have to select the more option, and not one option is correct at that moment. Remember, if you are unfamiliar with the topic, you must concentrate on understanding whatever you can. Do not worry about the subject too much, right? So these are the strategy you need to keep in mind while doing the MCQs. Single answer, and you see there will be 2 to 3 question, but again, sometime reading is 77, 76, 78, you see, and these are the question which are the savior, right? So just paying some attention on them, giving some practice time will help you just get those marks, and they will easily can make take your scores to the desired level, right? So let's move to the practice for these question. 3 question in the each category, that what we'll be doing right now. So just a second, bear with me, showing you the question shortly, and after that moving to the next item types. Okay, here you go. This is the first question, and it is multiple choice, single answer. So that means you are selecting the single option here. Just a second. This is the question, first question number 1 for the single answer. Look at that. Whatever you find the answer, send in the chat box. And the next question I'll show you just now. After you like you just read it, send its answer. And the next question I'm just pasting up. Send answer in the chat box. So these two questions are for the single answer. Okay, so as I received the answers, let's see what is the right one here. I'll tell you right now. Just a sec. Okay, so the right answer here is, it says which of one of the following reason would one consider as more as possible for the warning lights to be on, right? So here they're just talking about shower of debris. That's what they are giving as option. Jack was yelling. A catastrophe was imminent. The moon was looming close and big. So as you will be going to the passage, we will be going now, like following reason would one consider as more as possible. More as possible, that mean more than the other ones, right? For the warning lights to be on. Like why, what could be the more possible reason for the warning lights to be on? So just looking into the answer. So almost simultaneously, Jack yelled down to me that there was a warning light on. So this B option is out of the context. Why? Because it says that Jack is yelling. Why? Because he wants to tell that warning lights are on. So that's the reason of Jack yelling. So that means this won't be considered as the right option. This is like this is not related to the reasons of the warning lights to be on, right? It is after that event when the Jack was telling me like the warning lights got on, right? So we left with three options, A, C, and D now. So fleeting but spectacular sights snapped into and out of the view. The snow, the shower of debris, the moon, the looming big, close and big, the dazzling sunshine for ounce unfiltered by layers of air. The last 12 hours before re-entry were particular bone chilling. So these are the things they are saying, that we are having these spectacular sights coming in our view, going away from our view. So this is happening. That's what they are. So the D option and the A option, they are also not the one reason which would be considered as more as possible for the warning lights to be on, right? So during this period, I had to go up in to command module even after the fiery re-entry splashing down in 81O water in South Pacific. We could still see our frosty breath inside the command module, right? So you see here, B option is out of the box now, like we left with three, and out of that, shower of debris and moon looming at big and close, this is they have saying as the beautiful view, right? They have not said it as per the why that it could be the reason of the warning lights to be on, right? So that's how we just left with only one, a catastrophe was imminent. Like I felt the wall of the tunnel shiver, and the master alarm squealed through my earphones, right? That means this is the C option is the right here, which says that the catastrophe was imminent. Catastrophe is like when the waves in the sea, they are like in a in a manner that they are dangerous, they are going so high so low, right? So this is like, that's why the main big reason of the warning lights to be on. So C is the right answer here, right? Now let's move to the second question and do that and send answer, please. Waiting for the answers and your answer in, and then we'll be doing the multiple choice question with multiple answers. Send answer soon. Just read it. The enjoyment of the physical possession of things, right? And what they are saying is one of the privileges of wealth which has not been changed. That means it is one of the good thing or the luxurious thing about the wealth which has not been changed, which is never changed, right? Is one of the B option is one of the privilege of wealth which should be curtailed, right? So something that happened need to happen to that, right? Possession of thing, the enjoyment, that feeling is one of the privilege of wealth which should be curtailed. And C has little to do with the prerogatives of wealth. That enjoyment of physical possession of things has little to do with the prerogatives of the wealth. C option. Then D is like is a prerogative of wealth which cannot be disputed. So now according to here you will read the question. Just go after this, the enjoyment of physical possession of things. So maybe here they are talking about enjoyment of things has all been associated, and you have to read here and then send me the answer. Okay, so right answer for this question number second, MCQ single answer. I'll be just letting you know now. So this is as per the option given and as per the paragraph, it is A is one of the privilege of wealth which has not been changed. So the right option is the same. So the enjoyment of the physical possession of things is one of the privilege of wealth which has not been changed. So let's see where it is said like that. The enjoyment of the physical possession of things would seem to be one of the prerogatives of wealth which has been little impaired. Right. So prerogative of wealth, we got two options, but it is the C and D. They are not same as per the sentence mentioned here. It says it has been little impaired, not pairing well with that, right? Presumably, nothing has happened to keep the man who can afford them from enjoying his Rembrandt and his homegrown orchids, but enjoyment of things has always been associated with the third prerogative of wealth, which is the distinct it confers. In a world where nearly everyone is poor, the distinction was very great. It was the natural consequence of rarity. In England, it is widely agreed the ducal families are not uniformly superior. There is a roughly normal incidence of intelligence and stupidity, good taste and bad taste, morality, immorality. But very few people are dukes and duchess. So we are just reading that like how they are saying it is never changed. So here enjoyment like presumably nothing has happened to keep the man who can afford them from enjoying his Rembrandt and his homegrown orchid. That means the wealth, enjoying that physical possession, it was all same, it was never changed. That's what they started saying from here only. And enjoyment of have always been associated with the third prerogative of wealth, which is the distinct it confers, right? Then they are exemplifying it with the natural England royal family, ducal family example, right? So these are the two questions of MCQ single answer. Now let's do two question of MCQ multiple answer. And guys, always remember the answers to the question and understand how that answer came out to, and maybe you get that same question, so you need to keep in mind that I'm doing that. And if you are appearing for the question, sorry, appearing for the exam soon, then this is gonna be really helpful for you guys, right? So this is the MCQ question, the first one. I'll be just showing you now. Just a sec. Looking at it in a second. Okay, here you see the second question, the MCQ multiple choice. So that means more than one option is right here. So read the question and you see these are the four options. According to the study, the more injuries were from. So here we have four activities they might be talking about: hiking, sledding, watercraft, snowboarding. More than one option is correct as it is MCQ multiple answer. So there is a negative marking also. So just read where they have mentioned these activities, right? And then according to the option, just confirm the two option or three option, whatever you feel is right. So just do this question and send the answer in the chat box. Send in your answer in the chat box. I'll be waiting for those answers. We will be discussing this question later on after you will be sending answer. Okay, after this one, I'll also post the next question till the time I'm receiving the answer from you. Okay, so as per the question, as per the question number one, answer to that is, here you see, according to study, they were asking the more injuries were from, so where the people are getting more injuries out of the four activity they have mentioned here. So as I told you, you have to go after the these particular activities. So looking into the hiking, let's see where is the hiking they're talking about it. So trailing, snowboarding, sledding, and hiking. That's the option they are giving. So more people are got hurt in snowboarding than in any other outdoor activity, right? That means the more people are getting hurt in snowboarding than any other outdoor activity. That means this one is the option which is right, D, right? Here only we get that because they already saying like people got hurt more than any other activity. Accounting for a quarter of emergency room visit according to the first this and that. Trailing, snowboarding are sledding and hiking. Trailing, snowboarding are sledding and hiking. Researcher at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention report in the journal. The most common problems were broken bones and sprains, accounting for half of the all cases. We want people to participate in outdoor recreational activity, but we want people to recognize that their cause of concern and people can go can do get injured. Study co-author Arlene Greenspan said, she said injuries can be avoided through this and that, right? This is what they are saying, like what people should do and how they can avoid the injuries. And after also they are talking about the data from the injuries, like how many people got hospitalized in the year 4 and 5, and what were the age of them, right? So basically the answers they're talking about in here only, as we just got the D option. The second they are saying trailing, snowboarding are sledding and hiking, right? So after that they are saying these two activities are the one which is like the another reason for the these all of the injuries happening to people, right? So out of sledding and hiking, what can be our option? So we have to may go toward the end of the this one. Nearly 26% of the injuries were from snowboarding, followed by sledding, hiking, mountain biking, personal watercraft, water skiing or tubing, fishing and swimming. So that means 26% is snowboarding, which is the highest, which they said here as well. After that, they're saying the second in the row is sledding, right? So sledding. So the more injuries were from, we selecting two option here out of the four given. So first is snowboarding, second is sledding. So B and D is the right option for this question. Now come to the question number 2 for the multiple choice, and I want your answer this time, and we will be then talking about this. So read the question, look into the option and decide what could be the possible answers here. As we are doing MCQ multiple choice, so two answers, more than one option is correct here. Okay, let's talk about this second question. According to studies, pets can, there are four options they have given. So let's go to the passage and see what they are saying according to the studies. Cats adopted from the local animal shelter are soothing inmates at the Lincoln Country Jail in North Palette. Some inmates had been volunteering time at the shelter, cleaning cages and floors, walking dogs, and giving baths. Sheriff Jerome Kramer says he wondered having a couple of cats at the jail would help inmates pass the time and lower tensions. He says studies show that. Now here, according to study, that's the question. So that means after this sentence, our answer will be. He says studies show that pets can help relieve stress. So D, relieve stress is the option. The cats have been a hit. Kramer says the inmates eagerly await their turns to take care of the two declaved neutered males, Nemo and Surge, right? According to North Plate television station, nor inmate Guy Mayer says the cats bring out the soft part in you just like your kids do. So according to study, they are saying like pets can relieve stress, like in case they're talking about the cats, and second is like they just be kids to the honor. I mean they act like kids to the honor. So as the parents take care of their kids, the jail inmates, their parents part comes out, the soft part of their nature comes out, and they take care of the pets as their kids, like. So this is like two options which are right according to study for the pets. So be kids to the honor and relieve stress. So these two options are the right here, C and D. All right, so let me summarize written text, right? So guys, glass is provided by Sika. It's free of the cost class. The same implements to the IELTS class as well. You see the IELTS class is also at 2 to 4. If you are after Canada migration, if anybody you know is after the Canada immigration process, wants to know about it, wants to go through the IELTS exam, So that class is also free. You can attend that session 2 to 4. And also we are having NATI CCL classes. If anybody after the PR process, he wants to get that 5 points from the NATI, you know that there are 5 points you can get from the NATI. So you can simply avail that facility as well by attending the classes, and you can just improve your score in the NATI, right? So let's talk about the essay writing. So there are, you know, 3 types of the essay we have in the PTE, and we have 200 to 300 words to write in the essays, right? So 20 minutes are allotted for the essay. So maybe you get 1 essay in the PTE writing, or maybe you get 2 essays. So as it depends on the pattern of the test on the exam day. So majorly there will be 3 categories of the essays you will be having, which we called as both-sided essay, where you have to discuss the point of view of the both types of the people. Like some people believe that, some people believe this category, and we have to talk about why, what are the reasons behind those beliefs, thinking, approach, and then coming to the our own conclusion. And then one-sided essay, where we have to pick one side, right? And we have to just see like where we fall, agree or disagree to this situation. Or then comes the problem solution essay, when we are just talking about some specific problem and knowing about the solution to that problem, right? So the common question related to the essay typing is like, is it important to know PTE essay topics? Guys, if you read common PTE essay topics, then you will be quickly able to develop relevant ideas, right? Because of course, if you're reading something likewise, you will be getting ideas, some essays related to education, some essays related to the health, transport facilities, travel, technology, sports, right? And you would have required vocabulary to complete your essay within the given right time limit. So you will be learning vocabulary, you will be learning relevant ideas, you will be learning examples if you are going through the common PTA essay topics. So this will help you to speed up the process of typing, getting more marks, getting good written discourse score, lexical resources, that's your vocabulary score, right? So this is how it's gonna be prove helpful to you. And our PTS is always repeated. So PTS is, you can say yes, they repeated subject wise, they just pick the same subject, and sometime even you get the same essay as well, right? So every now and then they usually get repeated, the topics gets repeated, the subjects get repeated. So it's like good to know what are the essays normally come in exam, just reading them, solved version of them, going through the vocabulary used, the ideas explored, and the examples used. So it will just prepare you for the essay writing, and you will be able to type your essay in 20 minutes. So the essay common topics are environment, education, youth crime, health, transport, travel, technology, and sports. So these are the common topics of the IELTS essay writing, right? Things to be keep in mind, like you have to be attentive to the instruction, that is the word limit is 200 to 300 words, right? So if you are writing less than 200 words, you will be losing marks, right? And if you just writing more than the said limit, again it won't be proving beneficial to you, because you will be might be repeating vocabulary, might be just overgeneralizing the ideas and exaggerating the points you have discussed in the essay. So it's better to keep within 200 to 300. So the limit is also decided by the point required. If you want 6.5 each, so you're writing 200 plus, that's it. 210, 205, it's good for you. If you are a candidate of 8 band, you're requiring 8 band in the writing, just write 250 plus words, right? So maybe you're writing 260, 270, 290, it's good, right? So you have to read the topic of the essay, and to understand the type of the essay, it is very important. So always just go through the topic, read it, what it is asking to you, and according to that, decide which of the 3 category the essay relates to. And according to that, you are selecting the templates for the essay. ensure that you write in academic English language. So there is one format to write essay, which is the English language of academic version. You cannot write the essay informally, because the formal way of writing the essay is required here. That's how you're getting more and more marks, right? So a mixture of the sentences you will be using, simple, compound, complex, because that's how we just write in a formal way, not using any spoken phrases. What we generally, when we talk in English, we use those phrases, we're not writing in them here, because we are following the academic English language structure only. Do not use bullet points, no bullet points to be used here, right? So you are writing essay, it should be in a paragraph pattern. And for, like for the essay writing, we have that modern paragraph pattern, like four paragraphs, that's what we will be typing, right? And we are not making any bullet points, any sort of highlighted areas, nothing like that. Just routine paragraphs, that's what we will be writing. Write in clear and concise paragraphs. So you have to write very clearly, logically connected essays, paragraph. So it's like you are not over exaggerating, you're not over journalizing, you're keeping the ideas relevant. So this is how you can make a clear, concise paragraph. Avoid the jargons at all cost. Any sort of abbreviation, notes, and abbreviated words sort of things, or any phrases which are informal, to be avoided in the essay writing. Make correct use of the phrases. If you're adding a phrase, it should be formal enough to add in the essay, and it must according to the situation you are discussing, it should be relevant, right? So correct use. Variation, as I told you, simple, compound, complex. So three categories of the sentences you will be using. It should not be like you're using all the complex sentences, because complex sentences, you're prone to more mistakes, like if you don't know the structure well. Simple, compound, yes, you can just follow the three mixed structure of the sentences, that will help you to go through easily. And then be very careful with grammar. For example, tenses, singular, plural. So these are the common errors, right? Tenses, like if you are writing something in present, so present tenses you should be using, past according to that, future according to that, and singular, plural. That means if you are writing something in a singular way, so the singular helping verbs is, was, right, has, that should be used. And if you're writing something in plural, so always, like, that according to the how many, what, in what tense you are writing, are, or were, or have, or had, maybe these one you will be using, right? Be sure to write correct spelling, and take notes about capitalization. Spellings are very important. There is a specific different bar for the spelling in the scorecard. If you're messing up the spelling, that bar will be decreasing your overall score. So it's important to take care of the spelling errors. So how you can do that? When you're writing your essay, write in the notepad, and then copy it, paste it into the Word document, and auto correction will tell you the spelling errors, and the punctuation errors, and the spacing error. So this is how you can assess what sort of error you commonly do, and what you can do to avoid that, how you can learn the better spellings. So there are many specific word in the essay we generally use. So maybe those words, you make mistake of them, just try to write those, type those words again and again, so that you become so good and smooth in typing those words, not making any mistakes. Take note about capitalization at the start and also in between sentences. Correct punctuation will add to the marks, right? So correct punctuation, when you're starting the sentence, first alphabet of the first word need to be capital. At the end of the sentence, you finishing the sentence, there will be a full stop. These are the two common punctuation things you will be using. Besides that, you may be using the commas, right? Or sometime you may use hyphen, right? So these are the common punctuation mark you will be using in essay writing. And if you know the wise use of semicolon, only then use it. If you do not know the exact use of semicolon, do not add that in your essay writing. Keep it to full stop, capital words, and commas. That's it. Never mention too many ideas in single paragraph, as the chances of many of them being irrelevant are high. So never mention too many ideas in one single paragraph, right? That means I'm writing one word one idea, then second, then third, then fourth. So what will happen automatically? The relevancy starts becoming starts becoming lower down, right? It will be decreasing. So the one thing firstly I mentioned will be the most relevant, then another one less, then another less, right? So this is like relevancy score will be going down. So it's better to pick one or two main ideas and explore those two ideas with the explanation, details, and examples in the one paragraph. Always proofread the essay after completing it by spending 2 to 3 minutes. So whenever you are done writing, typing the essay, so always spare 2 minutes at the last. So that means 18 minutes should be the time you will be typing, and 2 minutes you are proofreading for spelling errors, punctuation error, capitalization errors, and spacing errors, right? Because these all will be decreasing your score, right? So this is like sometime it is only 1 or 2 marks just because of these spelling errors. So we have to be mindful that we're not doing that, and proofreading is the one way we can simply just check it through. Check for all the major and minor mistake that you used to make while practicing, especially spelling errors. So as I told you, this is the best approach you can follow. Type in WordPad, paste it in Word document, assess your mistake, learn from them, and try not to make those mistakes when you are typing the essay in the exam, right? So this will help you even to know what are the mistakes I generally do. So rules to follow for the essay writing: keep it simple. So keeping it simple, just a second. Long convoluted sentences with lots of punctuation are your enemy. The more you try to extend your sentences, the more likely you will be to make grammar and punctuation mistake. So what happened when we try to write every sentence complex, like the long convoluted, we are using lot of grammar structure in that, lot of punctuation marks in that, and we tend to make more mistakes as well, right? So the Pearson test assessors are not looking for long impressive sentences, they are looking for sentences that are clear and logical. So how we are implementing these things in our essay writing example is here. Although many people are in support of standardized testing, I disagree with it for a few reasons, and I will talk about these reasons below, including about the fact that it allows students to cheat more easily and stifles creativity in people. Now, this is a lengthy example, you see, right? It is adding two, three things in one sentence only. This we call complex sentence. Now, if we want to just break this sentence and make it less complex, like break it into simple or compound, so this is how we can write it, and we will also keep the meaning same, or the whatever we want to convey through the sentence. Although many people are in support of standardized testing, I'm not one of them, full stop. So this is like breaking the sentence. Then in my opinion, standardized testing make it easier for students to cheat and stifles their creativity. Again, full stop. I will discuss these ideas further below. So now these are three sentences we have written, right? And this is one sentence. Out of this one sentence, we can make three sentences. So even I'm writing this way or that way, I'll be getting equal score, provided that the structure I'm using to write that sentence should be correct, no spelling error, no punctuation errors, right? So then I'll be receiving same marks, right? Because I'm saying the same thing with the compound sentences and simple, and I'm saying the same thing with the complex. So it will be, your writing should be mixture of the sentences. Then rule number two, like we should be just deciding how we are planning our essay. That should be done before writing, right? Or typing, I would say, better say. So it's like first decide which sort of arguments I'll be writing. If you're writing agreement of the essay, so you will be selecting the ideas in favor of the topic, right? If you are disagreement, if you disagree, you will be writing everything against the essay, right? So you should be decide first and then plan first. After that, or just start typing, because when you just not thinking anything of like that, So you will be like, okay, just thinking about the ideas in between. So you'll be raising, deleting, and then typing again. It will waste your time, and you won't have any time to proofread. And even it's sometimes not possible to complete the essay as well, because after 20 minutes, screen will be locked. So it's important to decide earlier only that how much time I will be spending, how many ideas I will be writing, and these ideas I will be writing, these examples I will be writing, right? So don't change your argument halfway. So whatever you have decided, just follow that. The formats to follow for both sided essay are here. So first, we have to like weigh the argument that we are just doing the both sided essay. We are just saying these people believe this, these are the reason, that group of people believe that, those are the reasons. So here, first introduction of the topic, then we are writing arguments for the topic, then we are writing arguments against the topic, and then in the paragraph 4 we are concluding up. And we are here, we are telling which argument is strong, which argument is most convincing as per my opinion, right? The one sided essay, we are choosing a side and sticking with it. Introduction of the topic, then suppose I'm not in favor of this essay topic, I'm saying I'm disagree. So paragraph 2 and 3 I'll be writing why I'm disagree, and I'm just giving examples in that, right? Paragraph 4, I'll be concluding up, summing up the arguments I have made in paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. So this is how I will be completing the these two paragraph essay types. The structure for the problem solution 1, you are giving introduction of the topic in the first para. You are explaining the problems, that means reasons why this problem is happening. Suppose it's illiteracy, so maybe people are poor, they don't have money to pay, schools are expensive, government is not funding appropriately, people do not know the importance of the education, people from the rural background, they don't know the importance, right? And there are less chance of the jobs after the education, so people don't bother about studying, rather they just want to learn something, trade, right? So that then they can earn money. So maybe these are the reason I'm explaining in the paragraph 2. Paragraph 3, then we'll be talking about the solution of the problem. So for maybe illiteracy, I'm saying like where make distributing some sort of schemes to the people for having concession in the education. Government should invest more into the um, okay, fine. So government should be like have implementing more and more strategies so that the people are more more convenient, and desire they are desiring their children to study hard and come to the schools, right? And also providing them some job opportunities after the study. So these could be the maybe the possible solutions, right? Then conclusion, we are summing up the keynotes we have made in paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. This is how we will be doing it. So these are the exemplary essays. If it's a both-sided essay, so this sort of a statement you might be looking at. Some people think exercise is the key to health. One group of people opinion, while other feel that having a balanced diet is more important. This is another group of people opinion. So we got two opinions. So we have to discuss these both opinions, and also we have to cite our own view in that. We will be following this structure as just mentioned before, and you'll be just completing this essay. Same like that, how your one-sided essay will be. So here when we are picking one side, whether against or whether for it. Children under 12 should not be allowed to stay home alone. Now this is a condition situation they have given. So whether I'm a person who will be agree to this one, or maybe I'm just standing against it. According to that, I'll be deciding my thoughts to explain here with relevant examples, and I'll be just explaining in the whole of the essay as per the structure described. Now, discuss the most pressing problem for government today. Give solution. So there are many problems, and most pressing is like environment. I guess that's the most pressing one. So maybe we can talk about this one. And same like that, as we just discussed the structure, we will be talking the reason to the environment problem, and then we are just citing the solution to it. And going last, the template. Yes, please. So the templates, I will be sharing. I have already shared the templates. So this one is the different. Like this is how you can follow it for the both-sided essay, right? One of the most conspicuous trends of today world is a colossal upsurge in the number of people believing that, right? Number of people believing that. So the topic, what is the topic, right? You will be writing that. And there is a myriad of concern in one's life. However, I do not entirely accept this, and I will explain this in why in this essay, right? After that, there are a number of arguments in favor of my stance. So maybe whatever ideas you have just picked up to describe this essay, both sided, right? You will be just writing them here in this paragraph, right? The most preponderant powerful one is that, like, exercise can not only contribute to health but also lead to numerous other benefits in various aspects. How can I watch previous recordings? Okay, so maybe you can go to the YouTube channel of CECA. There you can access the previous recordings, because the recordings are posted up there. So if you want to just go through, you can go there. Okay, I can understand that. So you have a work exactly at the time when classes starts. Yes, so it's like everyday recording is posted on the channel, a CECA YouTube channel. You can simply get it. You just access it, and also all the classes recordings will be there. Not only the PTE, IELTS class, the NATI CCL class. If you are after any language from Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu, or Nepalese, then these 4 languages classes you will be getting there. So you can access them at any point of time, and there are a lot of available. You can just go through, check them, attend them. And if you have any queries, maybe for 10 to 15 minutes, you can come to the class and ask here to the respective teacher. You got the links for the classes, so you got any query after listening to those lectures, so maybe you can come and ask your query here, right? Okay, this is both side. And then these are really easy templates, right? So you just have to fill these spaces, like where I have written topic, so that means you are writing the topic. And cannot contribute only cannot sorry cannot only contribute to doing something. That means whatever is related to the topic you can mention here, just mention that, and then everything else is done. So this is the for template for the one-sided essay. One-sided essay, maybe I'm just favoring the argument, maybe I'm just not in favor of that, I'm against it. So according to that, I'll be selecting my point. So all these 3 templates, this is problem solution, they all are same with little bit of changes in them as per the essay type, right? So if you're learning one template, and it's like the 90% of the 3 templates you have learned, the 10% is like there are different changes, there are slightest changes in 3 of the templates. So just look for them and remember them. So when you are writing the essay related to that particular topic or particular type of the essay, so you have to just mold your essay in that way. And yeah, this is the third template from the problem and solution, right? So this is all about the essay, guys, right? So the problem solution template, the template for one-sided essay, the both-sided essay, and the other template which I generally share with you, I'll be just sharing here as well. Just a second, you can take a screenshot of that if you want. That one is also easy to remember. They are a bit different than these ones, so you can read both sort of the templates and see which one you feel more comfortable to learn, and that one you can learn. So just give me a second, I'm sharing it here. Oh, where I have placed them. I guess here. Yeah, all right. Okay, this one is another one. Okay, here it is. This one is problematic essay, that means problem solution essay template. So if you want to learn this one, you can learn this one as well. It's bit easy. comparative to that, but it's like you can even, you see, you can look at this one as well. You can just take a pic of that. Already you might have taken the pic of that one. So if you want to develop a new one for you, picking up some sentences from here, some from there, you can also do that, right? But remember, you have to write somewhere for the 8 band, you have to write somewhere 250 plus, but less than 300, right? So your word limit should be 250, from 250 to 300. That should be your limit for the 8 band. This is the problematic one. And same like that, there is another which is for the both sided and one sided. Just let me share that as well. One sided one is here. So okay, this is one sided. So all of these three I'm sharing right now, they are also similar with few changes, like maybe in the second paragraph sometime. So this is like if you have same similar sort of the templates, it become easy to learn, right? So this is the one sided, and this is the last one, which is for both sided. So these three also are the one you can use and learn. Shiraz, I just answered your question. You can get them. Maybe you're not listening, I believe. Sorry, you can get them at Fika YouTube channel. All right, so that's all for the class today. Okay, so I'm ending the session now. So we'll be seeing each other tomorrow at the same time, which is 10, the Melbourne time, right? 10 to 12. So I'm ending the session, okay, right now. So we'll be seeing each other tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys. Take care. Have a good day ahead, and keep practicing and just nail the exam. So bye-bye, guys. Take care.